small numbers are the numbers that's going to add up and increase the revenue on that rate, which is why you have to look at the small numbers that's on the document so you can negotiate. Because if your driver has to touch the freight, guess what? Cha-ching, cha-ching. My drivers had to learn, and I don't want to make it sound like this, but it really is what it is. Put your hands in your pocket. Act like a kindergarten. Put your hands in your pocket. Don't say nothing. Don't do anything. Act like you don't know anything. Why? Because if you do go in there and act as if, oh, I know what I'm doing. I know what this is. Guess what that receiver going to do? Guess what the shipper's going to do? Hey, come over here, guy. Hey, come over here, girl. I need your help. I want you to help me lift this up. Pick this up. Come on, pick it up. And people look at the driver and say, how could you not? Why are you not helping? Excuse me? My driver don't get paid to touch that freight. I've actually had drivers call. Matter of fact, my drivers do call me. They now know, hey, I'm spoiled. My dispatcher don't want me touching this. I've had a shipper kind of argue with me to say, I need your driver over here to help. I said, we're going to need some more money, baby. Because if he touches that freight and if he hurts a pinky on that freight, are you going to pay $1 million for that pinky? I don't think so. It's called liability, and I know to make sure that my drivers are covered. I went to school to be a lawyer, so I'm glad that I got to use my legal arguments of ways in a good way, in so many words. Create profit. We've already gone through that. Maybe not. That is more so. Profit is the result of systems and strategy. That's more so about the negotiating the additional rates. Operator mindset. Run your business like a CEO and not an employee. But here's the problem with that many people are not aware. You will always be an employee until you outsource your business. It's just that simple. Until you outsource it, you're going to be an employee. And the outsourcing looks more like, hey, let me hire someone. Let me hire someone to do small things that I really don't want to do. Why? Because people, like I said, they look at their time bank and their money bank, and they focus on the money bank, but they pay no attention towards that time bank. And I find it interesting because the time bank is the one thing that's going to tell you if you can actually do it or not. So, revenue is not earned, it's actually engineered. And let's focus on that as we are dispatching for these people, because if you are engineering your revenue, then you can actually predict your numbers for the future. How the revenue system works. You have rates, you have pricing, negotiation, profit, margin, and speed. That is a lot. See, many people, when they think about dispatching, they always, for some reason, think, okay, I can actually just book the load and that's it. Let me book the load, and once I book the load, we're going to be good. I can actually, I can actually book this load, and from there, I don't need to do anything else. When in actuality, after you've booked your load, you now have now you have all of these things that you have to pay attention to. Your marketing awareness, that's not what I was just on. Excuse me. Now you have to worry about the rate. We know that. That's the first thing that we see. That's the opening number. Pricing. Let's look at the prices strategically. We want to maximize everything from this load. We want to negotiate how much is my driver going to actually get paid if he has to touch his freight. Many people don't want to ask those questions because they really don't want to, I want to say, push the limit. And it's okay to push the limit because you're doing this not just for yourself, what you're doing is for your business, your carrier. And pushing the limit, it helps you to actually grow beyond your what you are normally used to. All right, so sorry. Negotiating. Now, this is quick. The broker call is only about 2 or 3 minutes long if you know what you're doing. Why? Because that broker is not trying to be on the phone with you. They're not. They're trying to get it in, get it out, and go. So You have to be quick. You have to know what your information is, and you have to know your information for your carrier right away. That negotiating, a lot of people, they only stretch about $200 more than the number. Pull that freaking broker's arm. Stretch it to 500. What is he going to say? No? Okay. Guess what? We now know that we stretched you out here, and if that's a no, let's bring you back. Let me see where your bottom and your top is, because guess what? You don't even know if that's a real broker. That could be a synthetic broker. 2, you don't know how much the actual load is for. And 3, you want to make sure you get the most for your carrier. Now, the payment, this right here can affect you actually getting paid on time. Because if your driver does not receive their payment on time, because a broker did not receive the invoice on time, guess what's going to happen? Your paycheck is going to be late as well. And also, here's the tidbit. If your driver has a factoring company and that broker is not connected to that factoring company, a lot of people say, oh, I wouldn't trust it. Okay. But what if 50% of the market doesn't work with that factoring company? What you going to do? Not trust them too? Absolutely not. It's called, we're going to find another way, because we work with agreements. And if you choose not to pay me, baby, I'm not going to get upset. I'm going to be like the black woman who sued the KKK and take your business. That's the difference between a dispatcher and an operator. And I hate to use this analogy, but it fits. A lot of people were being tortured by the KKK back in the day, right? They got upset. They tried to fight back. One black woman, her family was touched by this group. She said, I'm not going to get upset. She sued them. She took their land. She dismantled their business. She was smart. So as an operator, you have to be smarter than the brokers that you work with, because until you've done more than, I would say, 5 loads with them, you really don't know if they're really the authentic broker. Now, your margin, you want to control your expenses. Keep more of what you earn. Why? Why not? Keep more. Be on time. Because when that driver is late, guess what? It hits your pockets too as the dispatcher. I had to get to the point where I said, if you're late, you're paying me $150 and they're going to take $150. I had one broker try to take $750 because my driver was late. He didn't understand the broker paid $250 for the appointment to and from, and if you're late, that's $500 that the broker just missed out on, because now the shipper has to make an additional arrangements for you that was already paid for. So what are you doing? You slowing us down. Why? Because right now, that last one, speed moves faster. It creates more opportunities. The third level of DAT that I did not learn until years later, it costs $199. Get it. If you don't have that level, you are behind. And if you're behind, I've already taken at least 20 loads off of your plate. Unfortunately, I say that because that gives you a live feed. And I didn't think it was a big deal. Because like I said in the beginning, when you don't know any better, you don't do any better. We had the starter pack with DAT. And it was good. It was cool. 5 minutes later, we'll see the load. It wasn't no big deal. But guess what? When I switched up to the $199 package, I didn't go back. Because a live feed, as soon as the brokers post it, I'm on top of it. So by 12:01, when it's shown, it actually posted, it pops up as if it's booked, because I've already seen it, I've already discussed, and I have my carrier packet on the way. My system moves as fast as Sonic because money likes flow. It does not like to stop. So I say that because the foundation of the revenue system starts with, you do have to be fast. You have to be. That doesn't mean you can't be 65 and dispatch. No, just because you may have a little slow bump in your hump, that doesn't mean nothing. It's okay if you have the $45 package plan. It's okay if 5 minutes later, guess what? It's still thousands of loads out there. It's all about where to go and how to actually obtain it. Now, from here, let's talk about the biggest thing that many people don't understand, and that includes the rates. To understand the rate, you have to understand the market value. Atlanta, it's over 100,000 truck drivers. Atlanta is saturated. Florida, it is very scarce, but fruitful in Florida. It's scarce because, unfortunately, you can come out there, you can go down there for $5 a mile, but to come out, you're coming out there, I don't want to say this nationality, But I'm going to say you're going to come out there with crackhead prices because it's going to be possibly $1 a mile. And they know this. That's why they do this. So you have to be aware of your market awareness. Track the rates because, for example, Chicago and Midwest, oh, you're gonna eat for days. New York, you're gonna spend more out than you're gonna actually get paid. In the outskirts, you can eat. Outskirts like Louisiana, I wouldn't touch that. I wouldn't touch it at all unless I have a direct. I actually had to obtain direct loads or direct freight because that area, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, Beaufort, South Carolina, those are spaces I would never touch. I had a driver drive down to Mobile, Alabama on a Monday. He did not want to deadhead up to the top of Alabama. I said, sir, why not? And I understood why, because it's deadhead. And we tried to minimize, decrease, even remove it. But this is Alabama. And there's nothing popping in Alabama. And if you're at the bottom of Alabama, you're either going to drive to Florida or you're going to drive back up. He said no. I said, okay. Everything that I brought to him, he said no. Okay. Do you know this man sat for 4 days? That's how much money I guess we made him, because I don't care how much money I made. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. He sat for 4 days, and guess what he did on Friday? I guess I get up and move. He still took the same damn load that I sent to him on Monday. I said, are you kidding me? You wasted our time. We could have had you roll, but at the end of the day, that was your business. That's how you want to run your business. Pay attention to your trucker's name. Pay attention to the name that you give your business. For some reason, words create life or they will slow your business down. That carrier name, I don't want to put him out there because I do business with his family. Compare your lanes, because eating in Chicago is not the same as eating in Atlanta. See, Atlanta has 100,000 plus drivers. It's saturated. They know their numbers are not going to be over 2.5. So they're going to catch around that dollar mark, between I would say 175 to maybe close to 210. They know that because it's saturated. Most people, they complain about the rate. But here's the thing. The dispatcher is the only entity that sees everything from start to finish. And if you see the load that the carrier and the actual customer pay for, $6 to $8 a mile, you will shut your mouth up about $2 a mile. Because by screaming $2 a mile, that means everyone who hears that, they're going to say, okay, then you don't need the 6. I give you 2. I keep the 6 myself, because all you want is $2 a mile. And then how dare my drivers out there ask for more money but don't have any certifications? Where are your endorsements? Where are your certificates? How can you say you are a doctor with only 1 degree? Are you serious? A surgeon has more than 1 certificate, right? A doctor has more than 1 certificate, right? A lawyer has more than 1 certificate, right? A truck driver needs to have more than 1 certificate outside of that license. Because where's your TWIC card? Where's your TSA? Where's your port card? Where's your hazmat? There's your money. You can't just come out there with an MC in a truck and say, I'm ready for $250 a mile. Absolutely not. Sit down. You're not certified. You haven't taken the additional time to invest in yourself and in your business. And when it comes to your business, it's 3 levels. No matter if it's a trucking company, hairstyle company, I've looked at systems across the board. The system is the same. Employee, operator, owner. When you start a business, even if it was a Chick-fil-A, guess what? You're still the employee, running everything, running the fries, running money, running to give them the food. You're everything to that business, and that's detrimental to your business, because you really need to outsource, aka you drivers who are out there trying to drive yourselves, book yourselves, and dispatch. Calm down and stop, because you're creating where they want to push out these faceless trucks, because you guys are being more of a liability, not focusing on the road. You're trying to save your little coins when you need to give it away, because they're going to come back to you. Guess what that dispatcher is going to do? They're going to take the small nuances, all the extra work off your plate. They're going to go ahead and help you operate your business. So all you have to do is focus on driving, and they're going to operate, and your business will scale if they're the right dispatcher. Now, when you move over to ownership, guess what? You not only have a team, but you have your system and your SOPs in order. So stop coming and saying you're owner when you are really an employee. and you're at the first stage. I can tell from a truck driver, if you're still in a truck, oh, I know what stage you're in. You're still in stage 1 because you haven't duplicated yourself to come out of that truck. And you think a dispatcher can teach you how to actually grow or scale your business. Stop it. There are certain levels that you need a dispatcher in the beginning and in the growing phase, because when you hit ownership, absolutely not. You're not trying to run your business. You're trying to, let me say it right, you're not trying to manage you're not trying to run it, you're trying to manage it. You want someone else to operate it. You want someone else to handle your people, your HR. You don't need to wear every title for your business. It's called circulation for a reason. The spot trends, you want to identify the rate trends early. Why? Because that will let you know where the money is going. That's why I said Midwest is where you want to be, because that's where you can eat. Match capacity. You want to align the capacity with the demand. Reduce your deadhead. How do you do that? Put your carrier in the right spot. Here's another tidbit secret for all of my people out there. Before you book that first load, look at your backhaul. What's the purpose of booking a load that's $3,000 to say, well, I find something? Well, what happens if you look in that area and that area is dead as ever? You can say, oh, the next day is no. What you see today is what's going to be there tomorrow. And early morning, you may see a little sprinkle showers, but other than that, all the freight for the next day will be there. So look at your backhaul if you want your money. Price with confidence. Price based on the data. See, that's why that second plan with DAT works, because when you see what that load that you're looking at, when you see what the last person took it for, and that broker tries to come to you with smaller numbers, there's your leverage. Because I've had brokers say, oh wait, that just ran for $1,600. Yeah, and you have it for 12. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not paying that. Well, where's the other money then? Because that customer paid that. So if that's still that load is still that customer's, then who's taking the additional funds? See, many people fail to realize if someone paid out that amount, it's because the customer had designated that amount for it. So why would the price drop? Now, if anything, the price is going to increase, because now a different driver is taking it. So you cannot expect one driver to take the same load for the same price as the other driver, because the other driver may have more credentials. The other driver may have more, I would say, tools that gives them leverage. They could have a better MC. They could have an MC with more usage, more years. So that's why look at the load rate of how much that load was booked for 15 days prior, and use that to leverage your brokers. If they try to haggle you or hassle you, go ahead, check it out with someone else, because that's not they're more than likely still trying to bid for that load. Because if someone paid $1,600 and now someone new is trying to pay $1,200, where's the $400 discrepancy? You have to explain that. Brokers try to get over on carriers because carriers are not aware of this information. But I digress. Let's get to the pricing. Revenue is engineered, same miles, different results. And this is exactly what I mean. Pricing. One truck, $1,500. Gross profit. Now, you're $350 underpriced lows, race to the bottom, no pricing strategy, low profit. The second truck, let me give you a better picture. This truck is located in Colorado, $1,500. It's in a low market. It's not much to eat out there. Unless you're in Denver, it's not much to eat over there. So when you book, you're going to find something that's around this price. Now let me take you and bring you to St. Louis, Missouri. Because you're in a better area, now you receive a load that has a larger price tag. $2,300. Your gross profit is around $1,100, depending on your overhead, of course. Your value-based pricing, your market was informed, strategic rate model, all of this. See, you have to know your cost per mile. That is why I created the truck and household profit calculator, because a lot of my owners do not know their rate per mile. They think that they should just take $2 a mile. But what if your bills say you need $3? Are you going to go out there and get those endorsements now? What if you think you need to take a minimum of $1.75? Well, what if your numbers say you can take $150 from time to time just to get you in a better space? See, I would take $150 if I can put somebody in Chicago. Why? Because I know you're going to eat in Chicago and I can fling you somewhere else. See, I created a 21-day triangle shape to help my carriers eat for 21 days. Why? Because 3 weeks 3 weekends out the month, I need you on the road. I need you rolling, because that first week covers your bills. That second week, half of that goes to your overhead, while the other half goes to the surplus. And that third week, that's your surplus. That fourth week, now we're starting all over again. See, this is a system. See, I don't just make the same moves over and over. I have to figure out what's working, how is it working, and how fast can we get it there. That's why I chose my target market. I look at where these lows are going, because if I see 5,000 and I'm gonna take you over to Las Vegas, that will work for me, because I can fling you back from Vegas to New York for a good 5K. But if I see 5,000 and that's going to Washington State, I'm gonna leave that over there, because Washington State in the top left-hand corner of the United States, you're not going to eat. You can eat, but it's going to take you all around the world. And like I said, I created a triangle so we can actually hit our numbers. Because if you're just picking here, picking there, you're going all over the world without a system that's going to bring you back home in a timely manner. Now, value the load. Consider your equipment, your driver, time, and opportunity costs. Why? Some drivers can't take long hauls. They can't. They may say, oh, I can do it. No, you can't. You've been late too many times. You need something a little bit shorter. You need something that you can drive within a 5 to 10 hour radius, because putting a driver on the road for 13 plus hours, that's a day and a half. Every day that truck needs to be dropping off. And if you're always making single day trips, your money is going to be cut short. So that's why I prefer teams in my trucks, because I want the truck to be running like a revolving door. It does not stop. And if you have it right, you can actually build right. Build your rate. Calculate your rate with confidence. So when you see that rate, you have to look at, one, consider the numbers of that driver. And the numbers that I'm talking about is how much are they paying for their business and their household. See, we knew we were dispatchers that took it to the next level, because our carriers will say, yo, people are not asking us about our household. No one is asking us about the utilities, the cars. And I said, why? Why aren't they? Because if I keep you covered with the business, guess what? You're still an employee. I'm not helping you scale your business. I'm keeping you right there where you're always going to be dependent on me. That's not what this game is about. See, this game is about growth. This game is about scale. See, I'm not afraid to have you outgrow me. That's the purpose. Because if I have you outgrow me, guess what I just did? I helped your business grow. Because now you're going to have more trucks and you're going to come back to me anyway. So this is not where you stay. This is where you come to grow to the next level. And all of our carriers who actually listen was able to actually hit their numbers. Stand firm. Don't apologize for your rate. See, there's certain terms, certain words that you need to use on the phone with those brokers, because they will look at that MC and judge it quickly. Hold on, sir. I know my MC may be around 6 months, but baby, we have white glove service. Look at Carrier 411 and know that every broker, and trust me, I still have my broker's account with them, they look at Carrier 411. Why? Because they want to make sure that they're doing business with a legit broker, a legit carrier, and not a synthetic carrier, because that's how double brokers operate. They use a carrier's MC to pretend to book the load, and then they use their broker's MC to go ahead and rebook it on DAT, and people like you will find it. And the problem is you don't know the red flags, so you don't know that that load is double brokered, and that double broker is taking money from you. That is exactly what I mean when I say stand firm, because when we find out that the load is double brokered, it's usually after we pick it up and check the paperwork. The double broker, I had them plead with me, beg, oh my goodness, please don't, just be quiet. I don't want the real broker to know. And I said to them, I don't care. I can care less. Because guess what they're asking me? Don't take my money away from me that I work so hard to book for. And it's like, but who are you representing? You don't represent the real broker. You don't represent the carrier. You represent yourself. You're taking money from us for nothing. I literally had brokers try to say that, and I've shut each one of those companies down. This is how we were able to actually recover $250,000 in double broker loads, because once I knew their system, I was shutting them down, hitting them with FMCSA violations, reaching out to DAT. I took it to a higher level because they were like rats and roaches. They were really eating up this lane. And I'm glad that all of the long hours, the times that I cursed people out, all of that came to an end where now so many of us who's pushing past this say, hey, you all have to do something. They did. They let over 200,000 drivers go. Why? Because most of them were double brokers. Most of them were illegal drivers. And they actually shut down over 7,000 CDL schools because they were illegally giving people their license when they were not actually qualified. You want to make sure you track and improve because review your results and refine and scale what works. Better decisions are created from a better revenue system. This is how I was able to, I can stand up and say, hey, a box truck should hit 8 to 10,000 on a weekly basis. Not to say that's going to hit every single week because sometimes you may come down to 7. But if I saw our numbers hit to 5, I have to sit down and talk to you because 5 is not even my goal, my numbers. Like if we can't hit our numbers, then that means you're doing something wrong. And usually it's because the driver is late, not picking up on time, or just moving too slow at the gas stations. Now let's move on to the next one, and that's going to be negotiating. You got to do your research on the market. Real talk. Interview your brokers. I created the carrier vetting system so you can actually vet these drivers and these brokers. A broker who says, why are you asking me about my customer? I don't want to say they're a synthetic broker. I'm going to say a real broker knows that you cannot steal their customer. That broker has volume. You have leverage. That's 2 different entities. Let me give you an example. Shipper, broker, carrier. The shipper does business with a broker who has 10 trucks, aka volume. That driver gets a load from the broker. That driver thinks, I want to go ahead and cut this broker out. Let me do business with the shipper. He goes behind the broker's back and goes directly to the shipper. See, the shipper, they're a team player. They're going to let the broker know, and the broker's going to actually X you out without you even knowing. The shipper is going to let them know, hey, they're trying to take me. And the problem is you have 1 truck. It will be different if you had 10 trucks yourself. Cool. Now you can compare because that's apples to apples. Volume and leverage are 2 different things. And you need both, but it's about how you go about it. So you must ask better questions. How often do you run this load? Who's running it for you? Here's a secret for all of you. If you're running a load, if you find something on DAT, the one thing that you should always ask every broker, how often are you running this? Oh, really? Every 2 weeks? Who's running it for you? Now, you can't say I'm not giving you some tidbits because that right there is how a lot of my direct freight was actually built. Why? Because guess what? The broker do not want these loads on their desk. This is homework for them. They want their homework done. They want their work completed so they can have some fun. So if you know how to make a relationship and a partnership, you can actually eat off of your relationships. Build value. You do that by the talking. You do that by your actions. You do that by showing up and delivering on time. Well, if they ask for the paperwork, you don't have there's no resistance with you. Everything is easy. Everything is downstream. And that's what brokers like. That's what people want to work with. Negotiate with confidence. Don't give the broker an asinine answer. You say it's $2,800. Don't come back and say, give me $4,000 for it, even though you're new. Stop, sit down, and keep learning. Because until you understand how to negotiate it, you won't look professional. You'll look like an ass. Protect your profit. Get the rate and the terms that cover the true cost. Why? Because before that load gets picked up, all numbers need to be negotiated. Hey, how much is your tonneau? What's your layover? I got numbers over here too. See, brokers, they have their own numbers, right? And the thing is, every single broker has their own separate type of numbers. But we don't care. Why? We have our own numbers too. Do you understand that? I'm not the same as the other driver. Your numbers are that, but hold on. My driver, if he has to touch that, that's not going to cover it, because if he hurts himself, will your insurance cover? No. Do you understand when you take a load, every load that you take, that paperwork has to be updated with the broker's name, but the broker does not have to update your paperwork. That is the interesting thing. The broker does not have to update your paperwork, but you have to update theirs. So if you get hurt at the shipper, who's paying for it? That's why I tell my drivers, sit down, put your hands in the truck. Matter of fact, after you open up the truck, go in your truck and sit down, because a shipper will try to take advantage of you along with the receiver. The payment. Whew. So many dispatchers think, oh, I got the first load booked. Hey, now I'm good. Stop. Because what's going to happen if you get to that shipper and they tell you, sorry, we don't have the load anymore. Sorry, somebody came and picked it up already, because that does happen. Sorry, we have to add more to it. Guess what? You're going to turn around, take your ass back to that blackboard and go back to work so you can find another load for your driver. Why? Because you missed out, even if that load wasn't picked up. If you're trying to pick up something else, $2,000 or even $1,000, the one thing that is discouraging is if you take home a $75 tonneau, a $250 tonneau. We're missing some money here. So follow up fast. You don't want to wait on your payment. When you drop that load off, that dispatcher needs to have the invoice already set, preset, and signed. When you actually send your paperwork over to your dispatchers, make sure you get a printed name and a signature. Why? That will actually slow up your paperwork and your payment from your factoring company and your brokerage, because people can't read these signatures. I've actually had a gentleman who got off the Brooklyn Bridge, off the New Jersey island. I said, go back. He said, that's 3. I don't care. Go back. Because you're not about to hold up my money, nor yours. Your factoring company, most factoring companies will pay out. But there are some who will say, I want the paperwork accurate right now. So when we do pay out, there's no discrepancies. There's nothing that's holding us back. Submit it correctly. Clean paperwork gets done faster. Know your payment terms before you accept the load. Know your payment terms. I've been there before where, that tonneau can actually be $10. That tonneau can actually be $75. And I say, whoa, that detention may be not a detention at all. Because if you waited for 2 hours and that shipper got you in at 2:01, you have no detention. That's no, you get paid when the clock starts at 2:01. And if they got you in exactly at 2:01, there's no money right there. So understand, you have to verify those terms. Verify the broker pay, because that's big. Because your factoring company will pay you out, but guess what? If they pay you and that broker hasn't paid them, that next load is already eaten up. And the problem with most people is they live paycheck to paycheck. And if that next load was already going to another bill, but yet you are unaware that the broker has not paid the factoring company, you're going to run into a huge hole when you are looking for that money, because somebody already took it. Protect your cash flow. Why? Because fast payments help you to keep money into your business. Quick pay is not quick at all. ACH is actually a wire transfer. That wire transfer is going to take 2 to 3 business days. Anything that you do over the weekend for a bank, you're not going to see until Tuesday. They wait 24 hours to process the numbers. So I say this because if someone drops off on Friday and they're looking for a payment, and say, for example, they do not have a factoring company and they need to receive payment from their broker, how are you going to get them paid? Is it quick pay? Nope, I just told you that wasn't quick. Is it ACH? Nope, I told you that's going to take about 2 to 3 business days. Is it e-com, which means the broker gives you a number. You take that number to a truck stop. You take it, it's like a Western Union. You take the number to a truck stop. They go ahead, put it in. They cash you out right then and there. And that's the fastest way you can get your money, because it's right now. Outside of that, it's going to be wire transfer. That Zelle is usually connected to a synthetic broker. Let me say it again for the people in the back. If a broker says, let me pay you cash on delivery, Zelle, or even cash, anything like that, it's a synthetic broker. Because real brokers don't Zelle. They don't. And usually if it's a new broker, he may not have a factoring company because they're not going to work. See, new brokers have it harder than actual carriers. Shippers don't want to touch them. Factoring companies don't want to touch them. Why? You have to prove to me that you are actually connected to these shippers who will pay, because if not, guess what? They're going to take the money and run off with it. So it's a lot that you have to understand that goes to protect the cash flow. So many dispatchers, they book a load. They think when it's delivered, the paperwork is submitted, your broker is approved, the payment is received, and that's when it gets to your account. See, revenue is collected when it is earned. But until you receive it, baby, the money is still in the air. So the margins, revenue, the top line is what you bring in. That does not mean that's what you keep. And I say that because and this is how my truck and household calculator was created. I saw so many of my carriers hitting this number, 10,000. But then when they kept saying, hey, I'm not really taking much home. I said, how? What are you doing? Let me see your numbers. And that is how I said, wait a second. Your business overhead is $3,500, then your household overhead is $3,500, and then you're telling me that you want $2 a mile? Absolutely not. We need to hit you at $3 to $5 a mile because you're already at $7. If your expenses are that much expensive, if your expenses are that much more, like, come on now, you're just eating up the money. So we had to go into the household to say, where's the money going? Because if I help you make $10,000 and you're bringing in less than $3,500, our numbers are lopsided. If you're hitting $8,000 to $10,000, your cash flow needs to be around $4,000 to $5,000. And I know the numbers because I've structured them so many times that I can listen to the numbers to see and hear, okay, something doesn't sound right. Because if you're bringing in $10,000 and your expenses is $28 and your fuel is $22, your insurance is $12, your payroll is $14, and your factoring is $900, you brought home $1,500. I'm going to come back to you and say, why are your expenses $2,800? How much fuel is that? Let's get some gas cards. Insurance $1,200. I know an insurance company that will quote you $1,000 even with a new MC. Let's go ahead. Factoring. I know some factoring companies that will actually charge 1%, less than 3%. All of those numbers matter because all of those numbers keep money in your pocket and helps you to grow your business. That's why your expenses, it helps to keep that down because it is going to eat up the proceeds, and your profit is what is afterwards. See, we can help you make $10,000, but baby, if you take it home less than, it's like, who's really at fault here? If you made the money because you actually recovered and captured what the customer put out there, who's really at fault for you not bringing the money home? It's you and your household system, or it's you and your business system. But the problem is, it's still a problem. So let's find the answer, because every problem has a solution. Profit is what you keep, not what you spend. Speed advantage. Now, this is what I talked about previously. With the DAT highest package plan, that helps you to book within a matter of a minute. I kid you not. That minute is a lifesaver. That minute means either you are done for the day and you can work on your backhaul, or you're going to go back to work. That minute is the difference in your driver having something on their truck or being stuck over the weekend. So fast operators, they wake up early. Fast operators are up between 7, I'm going to be honest, between 6 and 8. Because if you're up between 6 and 8, guess what happens? You eat before everyone eats, because New York, we run the whole system. Why? We get up earlier than everyone. California, by the time California is up, New York is already on lunch. And if you didn't make it within the morning swing, you only have another window, and that's between 10 and 12, because 12 and 2, that's lunchtime, and 2 to 5, shippers are trying to close. So you have to know more than just the numbers. You have to understand how the systems work. The load boards move fast, so you have to move faster. Notifications matter. I definitely had that, but that's not the one thing that's not the end all be all. You have to be ready to respond. I had my emails to my templates already set. My systems were created. Why? Because I made all the mistakes. I made every damn mistake in the book because I took the cheapest package. That's my truth. I wanted to be cheap because I didn't want to pay someone an arm and a leg for an industry that I was new to. I wanted to figure it out. I wanted to understand the foundation, because if I know the foundation, then I can lay the foundation, and then no one can try and take away that from me because I have the blueprint. But now, after knowing what I know, I am saying to you, back then, so many people were coming to the table with I would say, inaccurate information. And it was discouraging. My drivers, my carriers, my owner operators, they were burnt by other dispatchers saying, "Oh, I can do this," and it sounded good. And when they met us, it was like, "Oh, y'all sound too good to be true." And I said, "Well, we are." And I'm not trying to be braggadocious, but this is what, shouldn't everyone be doing this? Oh, they're not? Oh, okay, so now because they're not, then that means we're too good to be true? When this is technically the rule? We're not the exception. This is the rule. This is the standard. This is what everyone should be delivering to you. And I'm sorry, they're not. So what I'm bringing to you is a system that was proven, a system that helped me to win, a system that helped me to actually dispatch after I had my second child. After delivering my baby, an hour later, I was on the phone with the broker because I had a driver on the road. My husband was with our other child, so we were strapped tight. But guess what? Dispatching gave me the flexibility to make money that day, even though I didn't want to, even though my body was tired, and even though I just gave birth. I had the flexibility to make money. I had the financial backing for the money to come in because we already had some systems in place. But more importantly, I had the freedom. See, a lot of people, they can't do all of that at work. They want to take the day off. But when you have a business, when you have people who are counting on you, you move different, you walk differently. You are not going to be, you're not going to be lackadaisical. You're going to say, I have to be on top of it because I want to make sure I win, and speed wins. So, $10,000 lesson. One truck operates with a better revenue system, which is why it hit 10,000. They understood the market. They priced things out strategically. They negotiated better. They protected the payment. They managed the margin. This other truck, they failed to do that. They saw the load, they saw the price, and they just took it and ran, and that was it. They didn't try to add partials. They didn't try to negotiate the rate. They just took it and ran with it. And the problem is, at the end of the day, $4,000 make a big difference. $4,000 can change where you live. I guarantee it. $4,000 can change the additional business that you can pour into your company. The additional investment, let me say correctly. Now, let me bridge this gap because I was once where you were. I knew nothing about dispatching. Absolutely nothing. I knew sales, and I knew sales on, let me convince you. But that was the beginning of my career in sales. I went from sales of going from every cell phone company under the planet, from Indoors to Verizon to T-Mobile to Sprint when they even existed, to actually going door to door, walking in the rain, signing people up midnight in people's houses, having $1,000 days because I was that hungry. I always have tried to, I want to say, be an employee, but that just didn't fit. Am I the only person? It's like wearing a pair of shoes. It's like, man, this don't feel right. Why? They're a little floppy. I have to walk funny because I'm not supposed to be an employee. I was supposed to learn their system, learn how to, I guess, be on time. I'm not sure. I know me. I'm designed to get the job done and get paid. I didn't like it when it was time to go and I have to ask. No, I'm out. That's all you pay me to do. I'm not a fan of, if I did the work, where's my money? Because if I have to go back to work to redo my work, then I need a second paycheck. See, I've made companies money and I've seen chargebacks and all of this, but the one thing I never had was, oh my gosh, I didn't have the time. I never had the time. Never had the time. Because when you think about it, how can you have time and life at the same time? Point that out. Anyone right now who's watching me, if you're working a 9 to 5, let me know what your system looks like, because I value systems. They operate our paradigm. How can you really have a life if you're given 8 hours to a job, 8 hours to sleep, sometime to your family, sometime to driving? That's not a life. It's not. I really feel like because of Henry Ford and the old system that we're still operating, that it's not conducive to anyone's lifestyle. And everyone who's uncomfortable in their job, it's like sitting in a pair of shoes. You're like, man, I just want to take these things off. Oh my goodness, they're getting on my nerves. It's squeezing me. It's tightening. No. If you feel like what you're doing is not fulfilling, if you feel like what you're making is not enough, then understand that there is another way. There's an answer to every problem. You just haven't figured it out. If you're trying to get into dispatching, or if you're already in dispatching, why haven't you, let me say it correctly, if you're already in dispatching, why haven't you hit 6 figures? If all of us use the same 3 things, our phone, our laptop, and we all have a truck, why? If you've been in business for over a year, why haven't you hit 6 figures? If you've been driving your truck a year minimum, why are you not hitting or making $40,000 a month before your overhead? I just want to make sure that you are aware. I know, right? So sorry. One of my kids was trying to come into the office. I just want to make sure that I let you all know that I was in your shoes. I knew nothing about dispatching. I only had $200 and the salesman mindset. Make a call, close the deal, collect the money. That's it. Because when you really think about it, that's all you're doing. You're calling a broker, closing the deal. I don't have to convince you. Where's your driver at, and how much do you want? Those are the only 2 questions they want to know outside of, are you already in our system? So if you can do that, and you can inform your driver where to pick up, and you can manage the freight, guess what? You can make 6 figures from your phone. I actually did it. My husband did it with me. I was very surprised because I didn't know what we were doing. All I knew was I wanted to figure it out because I was not taking my ass back to another 9 to 5. So the knowledge is what helped me. I had to learn it. I implemented multiple mistakes. We had no boundaries. I have never worked that hard for anyone in my life. And you know what? If I had to choose, I'm glad that I chose to work that hard in my own business versus someone else's business, because that proved to me that I was willing to do what it took. Hell, for me to be on the phone after I just delivered a baby, an hour after I delivered a baby, showed me I had what it took. The results. You want to see your work. And for me, it was my carriers hitting their goal. That was the biggest thing. My carriers hitting, because that was one of our questions. What are your goals? Are you in here just to have another job? Do you just want to make money? Because I can help you there. But if you want to scale your business, take it to the next level, create a generational legacy, great, because now we need to become strategic. We need to actually strategize and create and implement a plan that we can turn around and take to your family and say, hey, this is what we created. See, that's where I found and fell in love with this, because I learned that the knowledge, the implementation, and the results helped me to create the system that is now solid, that I can come and say, I have a proven system that can show you how to make $4,000 to $8,000 on a monthly basis from your phone. Well, all you need is your phone and your laptop and internet. Everyone knows someone who has a truck. If not, guess what? I found all of my hundreds of carriers on Facebook. Don't worry, I will show you how too. Why? I want to take away the major heavy lifting, because this is like wearing a book bag. It's simple, it's easy, but when you start putting all the pieces, you're like, damn, this shit is heavy. Like, man, my shoulders are a little tired. Why? Because I'm carrying a business that's 6 figures, a business that can turn into 7 figures if I want to scale this to other entities. So when you understand this, the operators take action. And there's no shade to my dispatchers, because there are levels to this. Dispatchers grow into operators because the system, the entire operation itself, needs a manager. the dispatcher is like the first preliminary salesman, while your operator is the manager of the entire gap. So this is what we teach. GL University, I created this for my dispatching company. I wanted to bring real information to people with a real system. I was tired of seeing people come to the table with just content. Put that to the side. Because if you don't have a system outside of that content, you're going to take more of my time, because now I have to take your content and try to figure out the system, because all you did was give me data. I don't want that. See, I wanted something that completed the entire structure of logistics education. Now, dispatching is the foundation, but baby, we are connected to every lane in logistics. I have partnered up with the greatest in the box truck lane, brokerage, hotshot, flatbed, power only, drive van, sprinter, and even towing. So if you want to learn a different equipment or something with an equipment at all, you have the option here. Why? Because so many people want to get into logistics, but they really don't know where to go. Who is out there talking about towing? I see some people out there showing videos, but how many people are saying, let me teach you this? Who's talking about hot shots? I see some people, but not too many people saying, let me teach you. So that's exactly why, because many people want to get in this, but they don't know where to go. So we're starting with the flagship with dispatching, but trust me, I have all of those instructors connected to us. What we are teaching are 3 different systems. Fundamentals. Why? You need to know the mechanics. Don't come past me saying that you know something and you don't even know how to get the person paid. Sit down. Don't come past me saying you know what you're doing, but you can't scale that business past almost 8,000 if you're a truck driver on a weekly basis. Sit down. We are all in this together. We don't work for each other. We work with each other. The mechanics, you're going to learn the core system and the skills. Understand how each lane works. Why? Because you can't touch the money unless you know this part. Second, we're going to teach you the career mastery. What is dispatching, brokerage, freight truck, whatever that lane is. We're going to make sure you understand, master your lane, master your role. Why? Because we want to develop leaders and leaderships with the right mindset. We want to help you build financial strength and strategy. Now, third, we're teaching you real world execution. Why? Because you have to learn, apply, and be tested on this. I can't get you out there in front of a broker if you've never talked to a broker. I don't understand how some people are out there actually saying, I have a truck. I'm a new dispatcher. Can you help me find my carriers? Who sat there and taught you? If they can teach you how to get a carrier, sit down and come back over here. We got you. Don't worry. We will help you sign your own carrier. We are going to go through live examples, case studies, real lows, real numbers, so you can actually see real results. Who's tired of the people who's just talking? Who? I know I am. Because if I'm not really getting real world execution with this, have a seat. So we're not just trying to teach you theory. We're teaching you how to win. Master every lane so you can really build your freedom, because that freedom is going to be connected to your business, your family's legacy. Now, that's what we teach. Here's the framework. So I am big on systems if you don't understand, because to me, systems operate the world. My toolkit includes my standard toolkit. This is the insider secrets for the dispatchers. My 3 structure shapes of logistics. The triangle, that's the foundation. That shows you how things operate. The square shows you the structure, who pays who is the order of operation. And the circle, that is the money, the flow of money. You need to know who pays who, how they get paid, and where they get paid. We're also going to bring to you the SOPs, the proven templates and checklists, along with the agreement. My carrier vetting system. Every dispatcher, every driver, every owner, every broker needs this. Why? You need to know how to actually interview your carriers, because you're putting the wrong person behind that truck. Guess what? You lost your business. You lost $1 million. You lost everything that you actually put out there on the line because you handed it over to the wrong person without taking the additional time to really vet them properly. See that carrier vetting system? Oh, baby, that's going to help save you some money. That is going to include the onboarding application, along with the insurance verification, the safety performance history, the driver qualification. See, my system is going to turn into my portal. And that is what you're going to see soon. Because I want it to be a seamless transaction where an owner-operator can take the carrier vetting system and pour it into my truck and calculate a profit portal, and they can actually see the score, and the computer will tell you if that's a good driver or not, based off the knowledge that FMCSA, Safeguard, and even Carrier 411 have that you all don't have access to. Why? Because they can actually hide their red flags from you and you will not even know about it. Now, the operator toolkit. Now, this right here, now that's golden. It took me years to develop that because that's every list, every broker, every carrier, every shipper that I've ever worked with, name that's been properly vetted, and I'm going to hand it to you. Why? Because after you get the fundamentals, after you know how to interview, now you need to know where to go for your money. Do you understand that? Do you not want to work with real brokers? Absolutely. Do you want to work with shippers who will work with you directly? Absolutely. Do you want to work with carriers who will actually carry your freight? Absolutely. So that list right there, that's going to be for everyone who's interested. The tools that we utilize are the tools that I'm actually sharing during my weekly webinars. My revenue system that you're listening to right now. My interviewing system, I went through that last week. My operating system, that is going to be next week. Now, this is going to show you how to run your business in the process and to control it. My carrier vetting system, this is going to help you to reduce the risk by interviewing correctly. My standard toolkit, this is the proven templates, the checklists, and the SOPs that took me years to actually get under control. My operator toolkit, this is everything a driver needs to be successful on the road. Now, I understand I used to be that person who was like, man, let me take the free route because that's all I could really afford. You're either going to pay with your time or your money. Some people don't always have time. They say, and I understand it now, man, I will spend that money because the money is going to help me save time so I can make more money. But see, back in the day when I first started, I had to spend my time because that time gave me the ability to go make money while spending all of those hours. And to be honest with you, if I could go back, I would spend the money in a heartbeat. And I say that because, where is it? Where is it? I don't see. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm going to switch this up. And I say that because I'm going to go right into it. Here's my offer. One time this week only. And I say this because I have took over 20,000 hours building this. We've dispatched over $1 million of freight, proving that this works. The standard, $999. Let me say that correctly. $999 one time. After this week, the prices are going to go up. And they're going to continue to go up until they reach the price on my website. The price on my website is $3, $5, and $10. Those are the main prices. But if you catch me and you see this, these are the right now prices for this week. The self-paced, that's $999. You're going to receive my self-paced curriculum. You'll have access to my weekly webinars, but I'm going to hook you up with the contracts and agreements because you don't need to think about how to actually set your business up when you have this system. You're going to receive email support, and on top of that, you're going to receive the standard toolkit, which is my insider book, and the structure, shapes, of logistics. Now, if you want to have live training, why? Because you want to get your questions answered right away. If you have a double broker load, I'm definitely the best person to go to because being able to recover over $250,000 loads worth of freight and money, it wasn't easy, but that lets you know I know what I'm doing, right? The live training is 3 days a week, 1 hour a day. Why? We want to learn, apply, and get tested so we can actually become certified. I'm going to hook you up with my business branding and business setup. The one thing that I never liked when the person was trying to sell me something was they will always give me data without a system, or they will give me data without something that I can touch. I need a website. I need a funnel. I need some type of identity for my business. That's exactly what we're going to do. We want you to be focused on learning so you can go ahead and earn that money within a short period of time. And by doing this part, that means you don't have to focus on how will your business be structured, how can you find the documents, or even how to do your website. We don't need that. We're going to hook you up. We're going to make sure you set up correctly. We're going to help you with the implementation guidance. Why? Because we know you need strategic help as you're building and getting into this lane. 1 hour live Q&A once a month. See, the legacy is 90 days. See, you receive 3 bonuses with this package. The standard toolkit, my structured shapes of the logistics ebook, and the entire carrier vetting system. Now, my carrier vetting system consists of the ebook. That's the interview blueprint. Know what to look for. My questionnaire. These are the questions you're going to ask in the middle of your interview. Why? Because we're going to go beyond the surface. We want to make sure that we get the right person in that truck, because that person is going to help manage and take you to the next level. The third thing in the vetting system is going to be the scorecard. We need to know how we're going to score this person. The fourth thing we're going to include the decision matrix. You need to know if they are a high risk, low risk, or even a medium risk. And finally, in the carrier vetting system, I'm going to include my approval sheet. Why? So once we have already identified who we want to work with, we're going to put all of that on a sheet so it's easier to actually have access to. But I've included one extra thing that I think that is very important, and that is the red flag guide. That's going to be in the back of the ebook. Why? Because you want to be able to have those red flags at the top of your brain. I want to say something different. You want that information at the top of your frontal lobe, so when you see a driver, you can identify if they match or if it's not really a good fit. So all of that is going to be included in my legacy. That is a one-time offer this week only for $2,499. That price is going to go up to $5,000, and that price stays at $5,000. I know what I'm bringing to the table here. I'm not valuing my worth. I'm bringing a lot, so your worth is covered. I don't want you to have to think. I want you to have to just learn and get to it. Make your money, have your business being grown on the side, have my team help you so you can actually sound professional, but more importantly, look professional. Now, let's get down to it, because for those people who want to scale their business past 40K, past 2 to 3 trucks, or even get out the truck, Elite is for you. Now we're talking about government contract and the SAM.gov assistance setup. Why? Because government contracts is where you want to eat. That's where you get into leasing out that equipment. That's where you want to have access to those contracts that keeps coming in and that will continue to pay you. On top of that, now here's the thing that I saw. A lot of people who come in here, they're broke. I mean, broke is not because they didn't have the money. It's because it took so much money and so much credit to get to even the basics. So what I wanted to do was bring my capital and credit partners to the table and my funding partners to the table, because I cannot have my freight operators out here with no money. I actually had a driver who I signed up after he took the first load. He didn't have any money for the second load. I said, "What are you doing, sir? Why would you put yourself out here like that?" He was so hungry that he was willing to do anything to eat. But anything is not strategic. So with the Elite, I'm going to make sure that you are capital and credit ready for this. Because to scale, you need bigger money. To have business funding, you're going to need business credit. So why not help you look and sound the part? We're going to hook you up with 2 live 1 hour Q&As. With this also, the Elite, that's 120 days, because that additional month, we're making sure the funding is up to par. I'm going to put you and connect you to my funding partners so they can make sure that your EIN and your business portfolio is built out correctly. Because how dare you have a business that's making $40,000 a month and it's not strategically set up for business credit? How can you run all of this on your personal? You're bottling down your personal. So All of this one time, $4,999. The price is actually $10,000 because I know what I'm bringing to the table. So if I'm bringing government contracts, if I'm assisting you with the SAM.gov, your account, if I'm bringing capital partners, credit partners, and funding partners, and even military partners to the table, are you not winning? Is this not going to help you scale? Absolutely. Let's take this a step further because I'm big on connections. And with me in life, connections to me, it is the greatest thing that you can have. Referrals and reviews will either make or break your business. But I say that to say, a lot of my drivers don't have health insurance. Is that you? Are you that driver? Are you that dispatcher that don't have health insurance? I was wondering, like, what's going on here? There we go. And because of that, I want to bring this to you guys. My Operator Advantage program. And this is because some dispatchers, if you have your own business, if you're a 1099 earner and you don't have a spouse, likelihood of you not having health insurance is very up there. So I'm going to give you access to all of my health place market partners, my doctors, all of the resources that I have access to. $49 a month. That's going to cover you with the healthcare marketplace partners, my capital and credit funding partners, along with business credit partners, my tax accounting partners. I have one tax lady I have multiple tax people, but this one in particular, she is cold with the numbers. And anyone, if you're from Chicago, the code means you are on point with it. She has the entire law enforcement from CIA, FBI, police officers. She do all of their taxes. So if she can handle their taxes, trust me, she can handle yours. I would never forget when I took my husband to her. This lady out here in Carolina, she was going to have us pay around $2,500. I said, wait a second, what? It's a small number, but I knew we did not owe $2,500. I took myself to my homegirl and said, look, it's been a while. Can you hook me up? Not only did she give us that $2,500, but she got us more back. I said, take the money. I don't care. That's what I want. I want someone who knows their numbers, who knows how to get results, and knows the ins and outs. And she is great with it. So trust me, that $49, you're definitely going to save. On top of that, you're going to have access to our strategic business partners that can help you take your business to the next level as well. But the biggest thing right here is not just the business access, it's the lifestyle access. See, I actually partnered up with one of my previous mentors in Viago. I was a part of War Ventures, and War Ventures teaches you, hey, VIP every day, all day, and that spoiled me. That let me know I can make money from my phone. And when I actually did make some money from my phone in a business, I never looked back. That told me that the lifestyle savings, it is necessary, because I'm not trying to be the one-stop shop for everyone. No, but I am one of the greatest connectors that I do know. Because if I know a good secret, I'm going to share it with everyone. Why? It's enough money for everyone to eat. So why would I gatekeep this information? If you're going to go to Target, why not go to Target on your own website and get money back? If you're going to go to McDonald's and eat Chick-fil-A, go to Macy's, why not do that all on your own network and get some of that money back? So that is what this lifestyle access is for. It gives you a lifestyle network that you are connected to the stores that you're already using, where you can have everyday discounts and even household benefits. But the biggest thing is it's not that, it's going to be your travel partners, your hotels, your rental cars, all of the stuff that you're doing currently. Use your own website and get some of the money back. Like I said, this right here, that $99, you're going to save more than that. So I am just offering this to you because I know I can't be the only person out here who likes to shop and who likes a good deal. So why would I want to gatekeep it? I'm not. You all have access to that if you are a part of our university. Why? Because we want to make sure that we treat our students with the utmost care and bring them the utmost resources that we have to, especially with the partners. Now, that concludes my webinar for the revenue system. I'm sorry that it may have been a lot of information, But I'm going to be honest with you. Many people, they just think dispatching is simple to do, but it's multiple moving parts. That's the biggest thing. It's like Tetris for me, because you have to look at the truck, and after you have a load on that truck, I'm looking at, look, I want that truck to stay full. How many parcels can I put on this truck? Can I put it to the ceiling? Because we all want to eat. Don't try to stop me and say, you can't put nothing else on here. You don't pay for the whole truck. You pay for a portion of the truck. That's the difference. My revenue system is going to be a 4-week volume, because I tried to cram everything just as one session, and that would have been a disservice to all of you. All of you that I'm trying to share and teach and show, hey, it's a lot of money in this. Let me show you how you can get some. Rates means you price it out right. Speed, logistics, and money like things move fast. The revenue system makes money every week. The packaging, if you do it right, negotiating, you win a deal. Payment is when you get paid. Freedom is not a destination. Let me be honest. It's the byproduct of a system that works every week. And if you want a different option, if you want a different lifestyle, then why not logistics? Think about it. It's everything off your household came from a truck. Look around. Everything came from a truck. So it's not going anywhere. It's solid. It gives you that stability that everyone wants. Freedom. Well, you can do dispatch, you can brokerage from your phone, wherever you choose to do. You can even be an investor, actually, and own a truck, not be behind the truck. Or if you're tired of doing what you want to do and you want to be on the road, go ahead, get in that truck, travel, put the music on, listen to God. All I say is join logistics and learn from me. Why? I've already put the system together to help you make more than just $4,000 to $8,000 a month. It's to help you create the lifestyle that you've always wanted. See, money is one thing. I can help you make that. But that doesn't mean you have the lifestyle that you want. Do you want your weekends to yourself? Would you like to enjoy your afternoon days with your kids at the park? Would you like to enjoy a Sunday morning? Would you like to not be on that red wheel of 5 days on and 2 days off? Because guess what? As a dispatcher, if you want to only make $50,000 a month, or let me say correctly, a year, that's one truck. One truck, you can manage that easily. Easily. A 60-year-old granny can handle one truck. 2 trucks, that's $8,000, up to $8,000 a month. Now that means you've already closely hit 6 figures. Now, the numbers are going to go up from there, and it's only going to get better from there. See, I have taken the utmost time to bring you the proper structured system, because I want to create more elite operators, because so many drivers, so many operators kept coming to me, and I'm thinking, how did you even get in this? How did you get to me without all of the knowledge that you just missed? So if this is something that you're thinking about, if this is something that you're considering, come on, learn from me. I told you, all you need is 3 things: phone, freight, and truck. I'm going to help you find your first carrier, because more than likely I'm going to be on that call with you, because I want to make sure that you do it successfully, correctly, and that we can help you scale. The goal is not to stop here with me. The goal is for me to take you on through. So I digress. My name is Catherine. I'm the founder of Global Logistics University. I look forward to seeing all of you in my class, so I can take all of you away from that job that's holding you back from your true potential. Bet on yourself. Trust me, it took me a lot of years and belief to even think I can confidently stand here to teach this, even though I knew what the hell I was talking about. I just wanted to make sure that I delivered. And that's why I now am in a position to actually teach this. So I'm glad that I've had your time. Hopefully you all were able to learn something from me. If you're interested in growing from that employee stage to an operator stage, to even scaling your business to an owner stage, come with me, GO University, and we're going to go ahead and fire our boss, because I actually fired mine 30 days after I joined logistics. 30 days is what changed my life. Do you have 30 days? Imagine if you join now, what the end of what your life will look like at the end of the summer. Imagine if you join now, how many trucks you could have under your belt by the end of this year. You could really have a full-blown operation. Don't be afraid. Bet on yourself. because the system works. And if you want to work the system, go to geouniversity.net and sign up. See ya. Oh, wait, one more thing. My system is down right now, and I'm working on it. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me on social media or even email me at transform@gluniversity.net. That's transform, TRANSFORM. Because that's what I really want to do. I really want to help some people transform their life. I am not selling dispatching here. I am actually selling freedom. I've worked everything under the sun. Eminem Mars in Chicago, I've worked in the field. I've worked behind the scenes. I wanted to find freedom, and it's actually hiding in logistics. So if you want to be free from all of these strings that's connected to you, that's bottling you down, your job, work, cut that shit. Cut it all, because none of it is going to help you become the person you are destined to be, or even help you create the life that you deserve. So again, you're not betting on me. I took the time to do that for you. You're betting on yourself. And I believe that you can do it. I look forward to seeing you in my class. See you guys.